Chapter 2. Secret number 1. Get your life back. There have been numerous suggestions as to how to go about increasing productivity. Sadly, most of them do not work. There is one major reason why this issue seems to be regularly discussed. You might have wondered why this is so. Not to worry. Before delving into how to get your life back, you should know why other suggestions fail. One reason why most approaches to productivity fails is that our society equates being busy to being important. Everyone else seems to have filled calendars, even though most do not enjoy the full packed schedule. Society worships being busy. This is the wrong way to approach productivity. Productivity involves achieving our needs and wants, not doing more within a short time frame. Understanding that basic line will help you approach productivity differently, but in the right direction. You will get very important things done if you follow this approach. The feeling of emptiness will be relegated as you will be engaged in the activities that truly matter, and, unlike the crowd, who do not know what they want, your activities will be meaningful. Reducing pressure is one of the benefits of effective time management. Sadly, many attempts towards productivity add more pressure instead of doing the opposite. These approaches become a task, adding more workload to our busy schedules. Conditioning the mind not to worry about increasing productivity is the best approach towards being more productive. Another reason why many suggestions to increase productivity fail is that they employ the use of a blanket approach. Such one-size-for-all approach cannot be effective. This is because our focus and energy levels are affected by numerous internal and external factors. Hence, productivity is highly subjective. Some persons are early birds and are highly productive at the start of the day, while it takes till nighttime before others get their peak performance. Conditions vary, and it is not all set out. So, for a productivity solution to be effective, it needs to address the core issues relative to the person in question. It must be a tailored-down approach. This means that a general rule to enhance productivity will likely not work unless it is taken from a stance common to many individuals. No better approach to increase productivity than addressing the human mind. It is a common feature of our makeup. Many productivity solutions ignore the fact that our brains are not machines. People naturally tend to resist things they do not like or things they have little knowledge of. Our belief system plays a huge role in determining our behavior. At the exposure to a new piece of data, we either accept or reject what we come across depending on its alignment with what we believe. Rather than change the belief of people, it is imperative to work around their belief system in order to drive change. Our brain has been demonstrated to lie to us by manipulating how perception to a piece of certain information to align with our belief system. So, if an individual is of the opinion he is at his productive peak in the early hours of the day, no matter the extent of persuasion, he is never going to join the late-night group. Most of these reasons impose on us a way to get things done. Instead of addressing the root causes of procrastination, they tell us to do a particular thing to achieve anything we want. That is not true, because lasting change is propelled by internal motivations, not external factors. To resist doing something, self-determination is needed. Such will comes from the mind. Your perspective determines if a certain productivity approach will work for you or not. So, you have to understand how your mind operates to know exactly what approach to take. Still, your mind holds the key to taking full control of your time. Speaking of time, what makes time seem to go away rapidly, causing low productivity and poor time management? Time is not cheap. It is a resource needed in achieving goals of all sorts and dreams eventually. Rather than wasting it, it should be used wisely to great effect. It is precious and never waits for anyone. Poor time management skills cut across different age groups in society. When our time isn't managed effectively, our daily living can easily spiral into chaos. Hence, the simplest of tasks will seem to be as difficult as climbing a mountain. From kids to adults, time management plays a vital role in our lives. In children, learning issues such as dyslexia and a lack of attention can indirectly cause poor time management issues. In adults, the list goes on and on. Some notable factors which result to poor time management includes absent-mindedness, disorganization, low energy, depression, procrastination, ineffective delegation, being reactive instead of proactive, failing to plan ahead or insufficient planning, and failure to prioritize. Here's what you need to know about some of them. Unclear goals. You might be faced with a situation whereby you have a long to-do list and very little time to carry it all out. Still, you tackle much work daily and go as far as crossing others off of your list. Even at that, you do not feel like you are meeting up to anything in particular, and you are just barely swimming through the tide. This is bound to occur if you do not have a set-out goal before commencing your daily tasks. You might be spending time on less important things. Poor planning skills. What if you have a clearly defined goal, yet you are still not meeting up with the tasks at hand? This can be as a result of poor planning skills. Poor planning skills can hinder your productivity as something or someone will always seem to obstruct your line of work. Sometimes you will realize that the time set aside in carrying out different tasks seem to clash. This too is a result of poor planning. Poor time estimation. When it comes to proper time management, many individuals are culpable of underestimating the time needed to get a particular task to completion. You might have set aside half an hour to do your laundry on a certain day, only to discover that you are exceeding the entire hour midway through the exercise. Underestimating the time for a task completion results in working overtime, working odd hours, and eventually stress. Eliminating these factors that result in poor time management begins with the mind. This is because every situation and problems we experience starts with the mind's perception of that scenario. The way we handle time is no exception to this rule. The mind is powerful. Whatever we visualize in the mind can actually be carried out. This includes the completion of tasks and goals. Absolute control of the mind is the key to effective time management. With the use of the mind, you can get full control of your life, getting the most out of every situation and eliminating time-wasting acts. Our effort to be more productive keeps backfiring. Rather than help us, these little acts add to our ever-expanding to-do lists. Specifically, what is needed is the acceptance of the things at hand. This is where the mind comes in. Adaptation to one's specific needs is the best productivity technique. It all begins with changing our inner self. This cycles back to the fact that we need to take charge of our minds and get control of our lives.